here to grab the Scrabble hook from.
And welcome back to Horrible Games. I'm your host, Kuno Dimitris. We have danejerus speedrunning SCORN 80% with Meta on the couch. We have a quick $15 donation from Meta saying, "I'm so ready for the Doom Jesus to run the not spooky game." And he had donated his $15 to the Metal Gear Survive character Ginger Male. So, without further ado, let's give it up for danejerus.
Good morning, everybody! It was before 7 a.m. that I woke up to get onto the stream so I could do this run. Hi, I'm going to click New Game, and we're going to let this opening cutscene play out, because it's kind of long, and then once it starts, we'll get going. This runs an hour and a half, so we'll have plenty of time to do all of the things and explain all of the things that we need to do. Now, the one thing to let you know is that we're actually going to be doing another run of this game afterward. Meta and I are going to switch places. He's going to be doing the run, and I'll be on his couch for that one. So you got to... Holy... I always forget that guy's going to do that. So you have to stick around to watch that run as well. Meta, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, yeah, my name is Meta. I'm traditionally an FPS and like movement type speedrunner, so this is a very different kind of game for me. But it really snagged my attention during the casual playthrough and like when we were like glitch hunting and stuff like that. And the lack of glitches for the vanilla run, which has actually changed a little bit. But yeah, I've been around this community for a little bit, and this is a really fun run. It's really interesting.
I'm not doing it,
especially between the. Yeah, I know.
Not doing it. Okay, so for those of you who don't know what we're talking about, the route for this game changed yesterday, 2 days ago.
Yes, 2 days ago was like the discovery, and then it was like solidified yesterday. So pretty early.
I haven't had time to learn it yet, so we're gonna do the old version of it because that's all we're gonna have time for. All right, I'm gonna try and count you in as best I can. I'm gonna kind of roughly gauge the time frame on this, and we'll start the timer in 3, 2, 1, go.
All right, good luck.
That was pretty close. We'll go with that. All right. So for this beginning section, we're just gonna hold W, and we're gonna hold W. We're gonna hold W. And we're gonna hold W, and it's it's gonna be a lot of holding W throughout this run. It's very much a. I mean, when people say it's a walking sim, it really is. This game, definitely not controversial at all. Had a lot of people upset because they were expecting a shooter, like a Doom shooter, and it's not a Doom shooter. It is very much an art exhibition in video game format. So you're gonna just kind of get the chance to see and explore the visuals. I hit interact way too early on that one.
It's also Dane's being very humble as well, though, because there is, especially at a very high level, even the vanilla run is still very like you have to be concentrating the entire time.
Yeah.
Despite the fact that it seems like you're just holding W, each interact prompt, it's unlike other games where you may want to just interact as soon as possible to start it, because there's an animation that actually drags you towards like the center of the animation. So you want to line yourself up in such a way that you don't like run that animation. I'm trying to figure out how to explain this properly. But yeah, basically you don't want that animation to play where it adjusts you into the animation. And so that requires getting into the right place, and also you have to delay your interact as well. Because if you interact early, you're going to start slowly walking towards the interact prompt. So all of this to say, you can get like a bad interact that would lose like maybe half a second or even like a full second. But this run has like, I don't know, 200, 300 different like interact prompts, maybe not that many, but there's a lot of interact prompts in this game. So you lose half a second on each one, it really adds up for the entire run.
It really does.
And not to mention there's a lot of like curving hallways, and any Resident Evil speedrunners will be very familiar with, like keeping very tight lines. Like there is always something that you have to be considering during this run.
So we get to our first puzzle here. This is, we're gonna tell you the safe for work version of this. This is called the avocado puzzle. This is not what we normally call this puzzle, but we're just gonna go with it for right now. We're gonna call it the avocado puzzle, because they look like big avocados on the wall. Eddie, you have the loudest keyboard in the world.
Sorry, someone messaged me. I was gonna leave this as a bit of a surprise, but it sounds like it's not gonna be a surprise. Basically, there's another any% DSJ runner who will be joining me for commentary next run, as well as Dangerous. So I won't say who it is. We'll get there when we get there, and I'm gonna start typing on my phone instead.
I didn't realize that you were going to add somebody to the couch without, checking with me first. But that's fine, whatever.
For the next run.
Alright, so this puzzle is a little tedious, but I also didn't do this optimally because it's too early in the morning and I can't remember optimal execution of the puzzle. But this is still like very close to optimal, so it's fine.
Yeah, it's really I basically break down this puzzle into like a few different steps. It's like you move the one like double set, and then you start organizing like the right pocket of like singles, and you just break it down into like a few different steps. But it took me like probably well, let me see. I sat here for like 20 minutes one time, just like doing the puzzle over and over, and then I still messed it up a bunch. So it probably took me like 20 attempts.
See, this is why I don't do speedruns at 7 in the morning. I already goofed this up.
There's the one single, so on the left pocket there, you just need to get rid of one of the singles.
I know which one it is, I just have to, like, undo what I did to get it in the right spot. So this whole puzzle basically hinges on getting this stupid single avocado, call it an avocado, into the right spot. Casually, I needed help with this puzzle because I straight up just like Pepega brained and couldn't do it casually. Psycho had to help me.
Seriously, like when it came to my casual playthrough for this game, I first of all, I didn't know that this was the first puzzle in the game. So I ran around for like 30-40 minutes not knowing what the first thing that I was supposed to do even was. And then once I did find this puzzle, it was probably another 30 minutes of messing around and figuring out how the puzzle worked. It was a very frustrating time. At that moment, I was like, why am I playing this game?
Yeah, I've got like a very, very strict no backseating policy. So like, I don't even want like a hint of what I'm supposed to do next, and so I'm sitting here just bashing my head against this puzzle, and I'm like, all right, I can't figure this out. So I stopped and I went and ran around and poked my head into other holes in the wall, and finally I turned to chat and I was like, Psycho, do I have to do this puzzle in order to progress? And she's like, yeah, and I was like, okay. And I had to run back. I had to do like the walk of shame back to this puzzle in order to do it. Very, very embarrassing. I think I'm gonna bypass a whole puzzle in this game. It don't work like that.
Yeah, no, this game is very linear.
But it does make for a very easy to learn speedrun that way.
Oh yeah, definitely. As long as you've already like figured out the solutions to the puzzles, like figuring out where to go and stuff, like you can easily get under 2 hours in your first like run after doing a casual playthrough.
I was thinking like this is a really good like beginner speedrun. Like if you want to get into speedrunning, this is a really good one because there's a really low skill floor but a really, really, really high skill ceiling, like you were talking about with the interact puzzles earlier. So the very first donation to the entire event decided to go all toward saving Steve. So we get to save Steve for this run. Here's why I'm annoyed by that. Saving Steve is multiple minutes slower than scooping Steve. So we have to do both of these bottom rails. Normally we would just do the bottom left one, but we have to do both in order to save Steve.
You know, I've actually never seen this.
You've never seen this?
I've never seen the save Steve route, no.
You'll
but
see
this
why
is Steve
it's slow.
right here.
This is Steve. Steve is referred to as Podman. And the reason why he's named Steve is literally my casual playthrough. I was just playing and I looked at him and I was like, "You are Steve," and I just started calling him Steve. And
literally the entire community was like, "Yeah, okay."
I did the same thing with Bruce. I named Bruce, and then everybody just calls him Bruce now.
Yeah,
It's like
you have ultimate power apparently.
I've left my mark on Scorn speedrunning forever, since there are so few marks to actually leave.
Everyone just kind of accepted it. But yeah, even like I'll leave all the DSJ talk for later. Never mind.
So here we're hole punching Steve's pod because you need to.
I don't even understand like what is attached to. There's something that's attached to Steve here, and I don't even know what it is.
It's basically like a handle for the machine.
Oh.
So that the machine. Oh,
yeah. Okay, that makes sense now.
Yeah.
Okay. I gotcha.
So we would normally be going in there, but since that first donation decided to make me miserable. And more miserable.
Listen, we're doing
7 a.m.
We're doing good work today by saving Steve's life.
We're gonna save Steve instead. So normally you scoop Steve out of his pod and you kind of just drop him into a hole, and then you take his arm. This game is very gruesome, just FYI. You take his arm and then you use it to solve a puzzle. Well, Steve can do the puzzle too. You're leaving his arm attached. You just have to free him from his pod first, because you notice that he's kind of stuck in there at the moment. So, and this already has taken longer than taking him to the other room.
Yeah, and scooping him out. Like you'd probably already have the arm.
Pretty much, yeah.
I'm so excited to see. I've never seen this. I really should do it for the achievement.
So they're gonna use a buzzsaw to definitely not hurt him.
Yeah, it seems so counterintuitive that the way to save him is with the buzzsaw and not the ice cream scoop. Like, you would think that the scoop would just, like, you know, gently kind of lift him out and, you know, then he'd be free. But no, it's the freaking buzzsaw that... Yeah, okay. Sure. Whatever, Scorn. You do you.
Now, please do not be alarmed by the buzzsaw. It's fine.
Everything's fine.
It's fine. Steve's fine. It's fine.
Oh my god. See, that doesn't kill him, but the ice cream scoop does?
Yep.
Okay. Sure. That is brutal.
He's fine! Alright. We're gonna help Steve out of here. You had to cut through a lot of it. I mean, you know, that's the whole thing with a miter saw is, like, you can, like, you know, on a table miter saw, you have to, like, bring the whole thing down. So you have to cut through a lot of it. But look, Steve's fine. See, he's fine. He's gonna get up on his own eventually.
That is so much more gory than the ice cream scoop one. And yet somehow he's alive. Oh my god, look at him. It's Steve. I've never seen Steve outside of his pod.
Come on, Steve. Well, yeah, you have when you scoop him out of the pod.
True.
Steve, get up. Get up! Get up, Steve! Come on.
He's so short.
Come on. Come on. Do you see why we don't do this in the speedrun? This is very, very slow. Come on.
He's getting there. Is this what you looked like getting out of bed when I called you this morning at like 6:45?
This is exactly what I looked like. I suddenly developed a severe case of scoliosis, and I looked like this. There you go. Come on. You got this, Steve. You could do it, Steve. We believe in you, Steve. Let's go. Come on, buddy. You got this. Let's go.
Woo!
Steve, move it. Hi. Move!
What is he, like 5 feet tall? Are we really tall, or is Steve super short?
How
tall is
scale for how tall he is?
Canonically, how tall is Scorn guy? Well, actually, I mean, well,
I don't know why he's not moving.
Uh-oh. Did we get some good old marathon luck here?
Oh, there we go. He's moving.
Okay. Whew. I got a little worried there for a second. Oh man, he is
Maybe you have
very
to-
slow.
Maybe you have to hit a trigger line. We don't do this in the speedrun, so we know very little about how this works. But yeah, Steve is slow. So you saw me like stick my arm into one of these contraptions earlier. Steve is now going to stick his arm into the contraption as well. He'll be sticking his arm in there. He just has to get over here and oh. All right, we'll give you a little bit of help, buddy.
Yeah, help him out a little bit.
We'll give him a little help. We're gonna gently.
Oh
place
my
his
god.
Arm in here. Very gently. 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 There we go.
Poor Steve.
All right, buddy. Let's go.
Maybe it's better to just mercy kill him. Jesus.
Well, you can kill him in the DSJ run after this.
Oh, I will.
Okay. Come on, buddy. Nope, nope, don't fall. If you fall, you're not getting back up.
Almost.
He's almost there. So he's gonna put his arm in this contraption, which needs to be active in order for the door puzzle to be solved. So Steve's going to put his arm inside of this machine, and up there, and okay.
Oh.
Well, help him
Also
here
remember-
too.
Remember, you guys paid for this to happen.
Yeah. The very first donation of the event. Alright. So somebody's arm needs to be in there in order to activate this part of the puzzle. So normally we just take Steve's arm by itself and do this, but you all wanted to save Steve. We saved him. I hope you're
What do
happy.
you think Steve does with his life after this?
We could be in Act 3 by this point. Alright, we're gonna leave you here, okay, buddy? Okay.
Wait, is he just stuck forever now?
Presumably, he will eventually free himself.
And then maybe
Presumably.
maybe he'll find a job, a family, settle down,
Yeah. Yeah.
live a good life
He'll be fine.
in this universe.
Fine. Probably. Eventually, he'll figure out how to get his arm out of there.
If he makes
Probably.
his way to Polis, there's plenty of potential romantic interests.
Yeah, Steve is definitely going to mosey his way on over there.
All right, we are finally out of 1-1.
So when we said it's 5 minutes slower, literally LiveSplit right now says plus 458.
Nice.
I mean, we weren't kidding. 5 minutes. It's
Yeah,
5 minutes slower. Oh boy.
So what are we gonna call this thing?
We are going to call this the
Push gun?
The push gun. It's called the push
The
gun.
push gun. It's called the push gun.
We
Okay,
definitely
yeah.
don't have an extremely inappropriate name for this gun in the speedrun Discord,
Or many of them.
or multiple inappropriate names for this. We would never. That's ridiculous. Everybody in our community is wholesome and not dirty-minded at all. So we have to do a puzzle here. This is going to free the first set of enemies in the game. Ooh. And here they are. Now, luckily, these guys don't actually attack you, strangely enough, but they can hurt you. So we are going to actually manipulate the way the health system works in this section to our advantage to get through here a little more speedily.
Yeah, they're basically like fertilizing these like odd things, and the fertilizer hurts us a lot for some reason.
Yeah.
So we just don't run into them. Also, a really interesting thing here. This is another there's like 1,000 small things in this run, and I haven't learned vanilla, so I don't even know them all. Maybe Dane knows more of them.
Wait,
but I
you
do
haven't
know
even
this.
learned vanilla?
No.
Then why do I even have you on the couch?
Because I'm gonna drop this fun fact right now. Because we go on the left side first, because there's 4 enemy spawns, and now we're going to the right side because we need to go. We need to pass through towards the back of this area. So we do the left side first because there's 4 enemy spawns, and then we do this side because there's only 3 enemy spawns. Why they're different? No idea.
Well, there
but
is
it's
a
faster
fourth.
because we only have.
There is a fourth, but it goes to a different place. You don't actually pass by it. In the other on the
Yeah,
other
we don't
side,
have to- we don't have to
the
deal
four
with
are
it, I
in the
should
way,
say.
so you have to kill all 4 in order to get through. But that's the reason why, yeah. Little tiny optimizations like that really start chopping the run down a good bit.
As I understand it, there's a lot of stuff like that.
Yeah. Alright, so we're gonna tank this hit, and then this hit. And those guys are basically spraying fertilizer, which is acid. It's like a big thing of acid. And that is what is fertilizing all these pods in order to kind of wake up all of the creatures inside of them. So you'll see in a second. By the way, this puzzle is actually took a little bit of routing to kind of figure out the optimal strat. Funnily enough, so
It's also really lame. This puzzle is like not quite as slow. I think it's like 10 seconds faster than the avocado puzzle.
Avocado
Which is not what we which is
We
not what we
don't-
actually call it, by the way.
yeah,
but
we
it's,
don't
let's
normally call it
avocado
the
puzzle.
avocado puzzle, but we're at a marathon, so it's the avocado puzzle for today.
Yeah, it's not quite as slow as the avocado puzzle, but it is still kind of slow. So it's yeah. Basically, Act 1 is like, well, actually, I suppose that doesn't. I'm thinking like DSJ type stuff, but I don't know. Is Act 1 the like most tedious act, or in vanilla, or is it like 3? Or
I would
what?
say it's probably 1. 3's not. I mean, 3's got its tedious moments. The ring puzzle is definitely. It can be a little annoying to like remember all the inputs and blah 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 like that.
Yeah.
That can be a little frustrating, but it's not like it's. I would say this is probably like the most tedious part, only because you have to really like time your interacts to like grab the thing at the right moment. Stuff like that. This puzzle, I'd say, is probably the most tedious, just because it's literally it's flying that contraption up there around, and then you have to go up and turn these things. It's just a little tedious, is all.
Yeah. And yeah, there's basically, no matter what, we are never going to be able to skip this puzzle in vanilla or DSJ, because this puzzle finishes, or sorry, the next level sequence is triggered when you finish this puzzle through a
It
cutscene.
is
So
tied to the
we are
asteroid.
never going to be able to skip it. Unless we find some kind of random wrong warp or arbitrary code execution, but you know, that's not going to happen.
We're not doing ace in this run. It's just never gonna happen.
Ace is just not a thing in modern day games. There's just no way.
We got a cutscene here, so Uno, if you got anything to read out, now's your chance.
Hey, so we're actually going to be switching hosts right now, so I am leaving you all, and the amazing Mirne will be taking over, so...
Hey.
Kuno's going to bed.
He is.
That's
He's going to
nice.
bed.
What's it like to go to bed?
I don't know. What's it like being woken up at 7 a.m.?
Alright, apparently my mic was muted. But hello everybody, I am Mirne, and I promise not to keep my mic muted whenever I read all the awesome things. And before I pass it back on to you, Dangerous, I have to say, I have never seen this game before, and it is something.
It is creepy
It
and
is,
gross
yeah.
and weird and gorgeous. I love this aesthetic of this game.
I'm digging it.
It's very much like, it is, gameplay wise, it is a puzzle game, but overall it's more so just like, it's just supposed to be like pretty to look at. It's very inspired by H.R. Geiger and their work. And yeah, it's mostly just like, there's not a lot of gameplay.
Yes.
And you're just supposed to kind of like work your way through the game and experience the visuals.
By the way, that's us.
We look amazing.
So basically, the story is in the first act that we just played through. You saw how like you got like showered with acid. So basically, remember that spray that we got hit with by those enemies that were like, you know, shooting out that mist. Well, that hurt. Now imagine dumping liquid that onto our face. That's basically what happened. So that killed us, and we died. And then later on, at some kind of unknown time later, a second protagonist wakes up, which is who we are now going to be playing from here to the end of the game. But we're basically in that room that kind of melted because that machine broke and sprayed all the acid everywhere. So this section is just a straight up hold W section. Act 2-1 is just running. It's literally all it is. And we get to Act 2-2, and then there's actually puzzles. So you know, I don't want to downplay how tedious this part kind of is, but it's actually, you have to pay pretty close attention because this is like anything in speedrunning. You got to cut your lines really tightly to save time or to at least.
And there's a
not lose
lot of
time.
turns.
So there's a lot of turns.
Yep.
So,
And yeah, one of the things about the story in this game is that it's very sort of just like up to interpretation.
yeah, it's very obscure.
I actually have a different interpretation of how we go from player 1 to player 2, but I'm gonna wait to go over that once we get a bit further into this level, and I'm curious to see what you think about it, Dane.
All right.
But I'm gonna wait to pull it. But yeah, there's a lot of like I've seen a lot of different YouTube videos about like trying to break down the story of this game, and there's a lot of really interesting theories. Like, and I think that's kind of something that's beautiful about this game is you kind of make your own story out of it. So I've heard like 3-4 different interpretations.
Yeah, Psyche's probably got the best interpretation, or at least the one that I like the most out of all of them. That basically this whole story is a love letter to overcoming depression and anxiety and stress and any kind of like mental struggle that you're dealing with, which I think is a good message.
Yeah, for sure.
Now the whole thing with you play as one protagonist and then you die and then you take over as a second protagonist is actually a confirmed fact, and we'll show you the moment that confirms it in a cutscene that's going to play out in just a little bit.
Yeah, so I think that actually kind of plays into what I wanted to bring up, and I'm gonna bring that up. I want to talk about it right now, but I'm not going to.
It's a long run. We got time, so
yeah, for sure. And yeah, I want to give my sort of story interpretation a bit later on as well. But I kind of have to wait until we get to Polis, because that's when it really like it really shows. Have you watched any like lore videos or anything on YouTube, Dane?
not really.
Yeah,
I made my
there's yeah, my brain's too small for that, so. But yeah, you'll see in this game there's a lot of I don't have a strong enough vocabulary for this. I think it's alliteration. There's a lot of alluding to like pregnancy and like sexual organs and stuff like that. Alluding, yeah. Thank you.
Alliteration is like seashells. She sells seashells by the seashore.
Okay, yes, thank you. Yeah.
All right, so
My
we're now going to
vocabulary
begin. we're beginning a new puzzle. This has another name that we can't say at a marathon, so we're going to call this the Onion Ring Puzzle.
That
Onion rings.
is much more PG-13. Onion rings,
Onion
not the other kind of ring that we usually call.
No, of course not. That's ridiculous, man. No, this is the Onion Ring Puzzle. Onion rings. So basically, you have to stick this contraption into these machines. Whoop! Oh shoot! That went too many. And then you have to basically get this needle to go through all of these little, spike points, and you get an onion ring for that contraption. Onion ring, and we have to do that for 4 different contraptions in order to get 4 different onion rings for this this little thing that we're holding.
It's gonna be really interesting seeing this level done properly. This level is so like I literally do this level backwards, like in reverse.
DSJ is a busted mod.
Yeah. So we have one of the rings so far, right? Oh,
We have
what was that?
One ring. What was that? That looked like it looked like it had a tail.
That looked like a spooky.
It,
This is the not so spooky game after all. But yeah, this is the one moment in the game where I was kind of like, ooh, oh my god, what is that? And I got a little bit of the heebie-jeebies. I don't know if you did during your casual playthrough.
the whole game
but every time every time I kept seeing it out of the corner of my eye, I was like, oh, what is that? I'm gonna find out what it is.
All right, so in order to get that turbine to stop, we gotta unplug the machine. We gotta do Strabo coming in with the facts. Now, if you wanted to know why, like, how we were able to confirm that there's two protagonists in this story, it's about to be confirmed right here in this cutscene. This is the first protagonist. He's become a parasite, and he is going to infect us. Now, how do we know that this is the first protagonist and it's not just some random creature? Well, give it a second. You can see it right in front of you.
Yeah.
Remember that pump gun that we got at the beginning of the game?
There it is.
So we now have a parasite. This thing is going to stick with us for almost the entire rest of the game.
Yeah.
I mean, pretty much the whole story of the game is you're getting this parasite out of you.
Yeah. So earlier you were saying that like the guy that we saw that was like kind of hollow and like that was player one. Mm-hmm. So yeah, this one's definitely player one, I think. Or pawn one. I don't know what we refer to them as.
Protagonist one.
Protagonist one.
Alright, so now the puzzles move. So we have to
and this is this ring number 2 or 3?
This is 2.
So yeah, we're gonna be acquiring a total of 4 of these to fill up this gun type thing. Tool.
Oh, when we get to the light nodes, I'm actually gonna need you to check the Discord for the solutions.
Yep.
I totally forgot to look it up again.
I can do that. I'll pull it up right now.
Right.
Is it speed tech discussion?
Yeah, it should be
Yeah.
in discussion, yeah.
All right, I have it pulled up here.
Spike. We got one of these at the beginning of the game, you'll recall. But it was on a different guy. Now we have to get it on this guy.
Mm-hmm. Which sucks. Because if I want to talk about DSJ stuff. Yeah, if in DSJ, if we managed to just keep the spike from the beginning of the game, or somehow, not have to pick up this spike, we could save literally like 8 more minutes on top of the already like 33-minute run.
Did you explain what DSJ actually means? I don't think we explained the mod for this game.
Not really, because I keep wanting. I'm 2 parts. I keep wanting to just save all the DSJ talk for the DSJ run, but then I keep seeing stuff. I'm like, ooh, and my tiny little smooth brain is like, oh, I want to talk about it so bad.
Pay attention to these puzzles in order to get them optimal. There we go. And now we got our third onion ring. And now we need to clear out the tunnel. There's a big pile of dead bodies in one of these tunnels, and we need to go into that tunnel. So how do you normally get rid of a pile of dead bodies? You pour acid on them. Right?
Yeah, definitely no other solution.
No other way to do it. It would get a shovel or anything.
Or use the handy dandy push gun.
Well, we cleared it out. This puzzle has like gotten me before. Like I keep forgetting you have to actually manually exit this thing. It doesn't exit you like automatically. So I've lost time because I'm staring at it just waiting to exit before I realize, oh wait, I have to actually do that manually.
That reminds me of another little bit of tech that you have to keep in mind and memorize for every time you need to exit an animation. A select number, I think it's maybe most interactions in the game, if you can confirm that, Dane. You can sort of buffer right click, so we call it a right click buffer, to exit like about a second early. It only works with some interact prompts. I don't know why, but basically, yeah, you need to memorize which prompts you can do it with, and then you need to actually execute it. And the way you execute it is by holding right click about a second or so before the animation ends. So you need to already know how long the animation is, and you need to know if the animation can support a right click buffer.
Yeah.
And then assuming all those conditions are met and you execute it properly, then you can save about a second.
Yeah, not every interact prompt can be buffered like that, or every exit prompt, I guess I should say. But for the ones that you can start saving little bits of time. You can, over the course of a run, you could save tens of seconds if you buffer properly and time
Is it
everything
that
out.
many? Is it that many things that you
There's
can
a lot of
right-click
exit
buffer?
buffers. There's a lot
Oh,
of
wow.
exit buffers.
And that's really like, when we first started doing this run around launch, we would see times of like 129, 128, that kind of thing. And now that all these little optimizations are being found, we're seeing what is it now, like 124, a 123 I think is
123.50.
theoretically. There's already a 123. Oh my gosh.
Exactly, had a 123. Or no, sorry, he's theorized a 123.50 without some of the other optimizations, but he's also trying to do a really.
And that's also without
really risky
fast
route.
key, right? That was before fast key, I think.
Yeah, this is before fast key. This is before any skips. Basically, his whole theory is you don't heal at all. You take no hits the whole game. You heal twice in the final chapter for the surgery puzzle, and like that's
it.
Skipping,
Which would be
skipping picking up
actually
heals would be
incredible.
Crazy. Yeah,
Yeah.
but insanely risky. Oh, hello. Sir, are you okay? Okay, he's fine. He's fine. That's not Steve.
Yeah.
so
Once
it's fine.
once again, we've committed another murder somehow.
I don't even know how that one happens. It's weird.
I don't really understand. Yeah, I have no idea.
So now we have a Bluetooth remote. Literally, it is a wireless remote that unlocks doors. But you have to have the corresponding light on the remote in order to do so. So we're going to be spending a lot of time running around just getting one more light to switch on for each of these.
It's basically like a security clearance upgrade.
Basically, yeah, it's your key card of this game.
Also, these doors, I hate these doors because each and every one of them is tied to loading the next area. So
You
have to
DSJ
hit
runners
them.
hate loads, don't you?
Yes. If every area in the entire game was loaded, the run would be like
5 minutes.
sub 20 minutes. No, because actually, yeah, because then we could do Steve skip. The only level that wouldn't have like a full skip would be 1-2 because of the cutscene trigger. So it would be like under 15 minutes for sure.
So that cutscene that just played out is not tied to the environment. It's a fixed animation. So if you turn to the left and aim toward this health station, you can actually get a little closer to it and save yourself a few seconds that way. If you walk straight out, you'll end up somewhere over to the right, and you'll lose time that way. Found that out the hard way. It was just like, what if I aim toward the health station and I landed like right next to it? It was like, interesting.
Also, if it wasn't immediately obvious, every piece of utility and weapon that we get in this game is like a biological entity. Like the key fob even has it's like moving, it's pulsing. Our push gun is literally connected to us biologically. The health station thing, I don't even know what that is, but you like feed it and then you squeeze it to get the health out of it. Like everything is biological.
It's blood.
Yeah.
You're injecting blood into yourself.
A little blood transfusion.
A little bit. Don't do that IRL, by the way.
Yeah, don't do that.
Don't. Unless you are a trained medical professional.
Also, if it wasn't obvious, that door that we just went through was the one that we saw right in front of us at the start of the game.
Okay, this door is solid now. So one day, randomly, I'm doing a run, and I hit forward to kind of press myself up against this door, and the door, I guess the collision didn't load in, so I just walked right through the door into oblivion. It was the weirdest thing, and I was like, this has to be a clip, and it's already become like a very, very viewed clip on my channel, because we threw it into the SCORN server. Alright, so we're gonna upgrade the Bluetooth remote. We're gonna get one more light on it. And this actually, I just realized, like, verifying another run, that there's a different route that you can do for this section that saves a little bit of time. It saves an entire interaction, and I didn't even realize it at the time.
Oh,
so
wow.
I was verifying a run going, wait a minute, you can do this? And so I'll point out what it is. Basically, we have to move a series of things around in order to clear the path to get to the next area. As we come down here, we're doing this whole section to turn this wheel.
That was scary.
That's fine. There's another wheel behind this one, and that's the one that we have to turn to in order to clear the pathway. And so what the route used to be we would turn this wheel, and then we'd go back and turn the other one again to, you know, open up the pathway all the way. Well, it turns out you actually don't need to turn that first wheel twice. You only need to turn it the one time so that you can get to here, and then you can get to that second wheel, this one on the left, another way. It's verifying a run like, wait a minute. Now this is the first part where you're probably going to take a hit, unless I get very lucky on the timing here. Yeah, he hit me. That's fine.
That's okay. Got lots of heals.
Yeah, not a big deal. So normally we would do that second interact, and we would go back down here, but that way is blocked off. So if we go straight down this hallway, and then we make a big left turn. Right through here, we skip that first wheel, and it spits us out right at the second wheel. I was like, that is a genius little route change.
And obviously, like, the walking route is a little bit longer, but the animation is also really long, so I suppose it probably saves some time still.
Yeah, it's definitely a time save. I mean, that animation takes quite a few seconds to play out, so.
Definitely.
By the way, I got a gold split in Act 1, too.
Oh, nice.
By a second and a half. Actually kind of a huge gold split.
I'm curious, what is the vanilla gold for that?
For 1-2, I don't know it off the top of my head. I don't really know what the times are for any of my golds right now.
Gotcha. Oh, look at that. There's a new live split update.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully it doesn't break anything.
I've gotten a bunch in the last few days, weirdly enough.
From live split themselves or component?
No, live split. I keep updating, and if it's either giving me the old one or something, I don't know. Anyways, we're clearing the pathway here. Let's do this puzzle. So basically, we need to get one of these elevators to travel along a series of tracks. And so a lot of this is just going to be running around doing that. I'm actually amazed at how fast this run has already gone. We're already over 40 minutes in. It doesn't feel like it. There's an enemy behind us, but if we just run away, his range is pretty bad, so he can't hit us. Yeah, and this is another spot where you got to be careful because there's enemies over to the left, and these enemies have a range. But if you're fast enough, they don't really aggro in time to hit you. If you stand there, they will, but yeah. All right, coming up on the light node puzzle, this is where you get the revolver, which is actually, like, I guess now the new best strat for taking on the boss at the end.
It's funny how it changed like that.
Yeah, it's so weird. It used to be no weapons, and then it became the shotgun, and now it's the revolver.
So Spoiler alert, we have a boss fight later on.
There's a boss fight?
But the thought used to be, because you can use the push gun on the boss, the initial thought was, oh, okay, well, if we can just use the push gun, let's skip all the other weapons then and just use that, because clearly we can finish the boss fight with it. And then it was discovered that with the shotgun, you can actually shoot the boss to make it go down way quicker. And so then we started grabbing the shotgun. I say we. I haven't actually run vanilla, but I've been keeping an eye on it.
Yeah, you don't fight the boss in DSJ.
Nope.
You skip
it entirely. Yeah. But yeah, the shotgun allows you to down the boss quicker. And so they started grabbing that. And then I don't know what the exact change was to switch from the shotgun to the revolver. It was like literally yesterday or 2 days ago, though.
Josh,
so there's still
that you could do it like with just a few pistol shots instead. So I'm gonna hit this guy to move him out of the way.
Nice.
Now this next enemy usually hits me, so I'm going to probably just have to tank the hit. Yep, that's fine. We got a full health kit, and there's actually a spot coming up that will be really good for healing. We're gonna basically double up the animations to save a little time. But yeah, it's funny how low percent used to be any percent. Used to be.
Yep.
And the only reason why the revolver's faster, I think, is because you can overlap it with the elevator. Otherwise, the shotgun would still probably be faster.
Oh, is that why? Okay.
Yeah.
So, this is an interesting thing. A potential skip for vanilla could be done here. We haven't figured out exactly how to do it. But there's a spherically shaped collider on that left balcony that's on the screen right now. And in DSJ, we can jump on it and then just skip right down to the bottom level and immediately just bring the sphere to the main area. So yeah, we're passing right by the collider right now. Unfortunately, at the moment, we don't really have a way to get onto the spherical collider at in vanilla. It might be possible, though. We just need to spend some more time looking into it. And if it is possible, it would save probably something like 10 minutes in vanilla.
The first light node, it's 4 rights and then 2, 3, 4, 5.
First node is right 5, right 4.
5, 4, 3, 2.
5, 4, 3, 2. Correct.
2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2.
Nice. So you just want well, the next one is gonna have some directions.
Yeah, it's right,
so it's not quite
left, right, something like that.
The second node is left 3, left 4, right 4, right 5.
We'll get it in a minute.
Yeah, we'll get there.
The good thing I healed, or that would have been death. So it's a good thing I healed.
The note actually says left 3 and then left 4, just like a single left. So I don't know if that's a distinction on purpose.
It's left and then 3 interacts.
Oh, okay. I understand.
Yeah,
I understand.
Yeah, I wrote it kind of weird, but it makes more sense to write it that way than to write it some other way. I could have written it like left E, but that would have been weird.
Yeah. I'll just read it like verbatim.
Yeah.
From the notes.
It's 2, 3, 3, 4, right? The numbers.
I mean, it's left 3, left 4, right 4, right 5.
3, 4, 4, 5 are the numbers.
Yes.
Yeah.
For the numbers, yeah, 3. Yeah.
That's the thing. I'm still. These node puzzles are hard to remember. That's why I wrote them down.
3, 4, 4, 5.
So while we are waiting to get to this next node, Renee, if you have anything to read off, now's your chance.
I always have something to say. I just want to remind everybody what we are raising money for. So we are raising money for To Write Love on Her Arms. Since 2018, Two Bright Love on Our Arms has seen 56,000 program searchers, and for every 4 searches, someone has taken the next step to sit with a counselor or call a crisis hotline. Donating can help continue their goal in making people know that they are loved and life has meaning. So !D or !donate to get that donation link. We appreciate everybody coming around, hanging out, all the donations. If you cannot donate, that is perfectly okay. Just being here and bringing awareness to this cause is fantastic. Thank you so much to everybody who has been here. And yeah, back to some more SCORN.
Thank you.
Wait. Oh, my heel didn't go through. I was like, wait a minute.
I'm glad you got that second node puzzle. I was a little worried.
Nah, it's fine. I know what I'm doing, Meta. Alright, so those are the 2 node puzzles. Those are the ones. The only puzzle I still have to check the solutions for. I know the onion ring puzzles pretty well at this point, but the light node for whatever reason just escapes me every time. Alright, so we free up this little elevator sphere thing. And now we have to ride it back down. Now, if we're fast, we can make it. We can make it. We can totally make it. And now you see why this elevator is really annoying. It's a total debate. It looks like you're going to be able to make it in time, but you can't. I like how Meta put that into Twitch chat. So we are actually kind of stuck here. This section is auto-scroller-esque because we are basically stuck waiting for this elevator to move continuously. Now, fun little fact, I used to run straight ahead and run around until somebody asked me, hey, why aren't you running backward through here? And I said, why? And apparently this is the spot that I'm supposed to get to, and I was doing a whole big loop around. So I did that, and I got a big gold split on my next run. Amazing how that worked out. So this is going to place the elevator on this cart train pulley contraption thing. It's a big claw, and it's gonna ride the track over to the next area. I don't really have names for a lot of these things. It just kind of, I go with what my heart tells me. And we're gonna do a little route change that I found that saves half of 1 second. Crazy time save. So we need to get that ball that's over on the left. We're gonna take this whole thing's an elevator. It's gonna go up 1 level. Now normally everybody moves the ball over to the right first and then they carry it up. But I have found that if you exit first, take the elevator up next, then go back and place the ball in the right spot, you will save half a second. Groundbreaking time save. And the only reason for that is because the animations, for whatever reason, are like delayed in a very strange way. If you try to do this part, this animation right here, before taking the elevator up, there's like a really big pause in it. Please exit. Not really sure why it does that. It may just be like a coding error thing. But that is a small little optimization. We're going to take this elevator over. We were, by the way, in the beginning of Act 3. This is going to take us over to the second part of Act 3. One of the first updates that the developers dropped was they split Act 3 into 2 parts. It used to just be Act 3 was one big lump of a segment. And then they changed it so that Act 3 was split into 2 parts. So now when you load game, you can actually load from the beginning of Act 1 or sorry, the beginning of Act 3 or the middle of Act 3. Not sure exactly why they did that, but better for running ILs, I guess. So this takes us to the second part of Act 3. This cutscene is locked on the environment, so no matter where we enter this from, this always plays out and ends us in the same spot. It's gruesome, by the way. It's Parasite. Just keep that in mind as we get to the end of the game. The end of the game is going to get very, very gory, and we'll warn you ahead of time for when that happens. We're going to take a hit from this guy. He pretty much always has perfect accuracy. Now, there's a spot coming up in a second that is going to slow us down. No, good. I missed the first shot. Okay. So we're going to overlap the healing right here. Now, when you enter that elevator, for whatever reason, you're, like, slowed down. I'm not entirely sure why it does that, but healing slows you down as well. So by overlapping those two things, you can save yourself 2 seconds or so for every heal. What's up, Blaine? Now, this guy in first, this is where you meet a new enemy, and for whatever reason... Oh! I almost got past him. So it has, you can get past him. Matt did a run and managed to pull it off. But I have no idea what he did in order to pull that off, and so normally we have to bait him out in order to get him to move for us. I almost got past him, though. I want to know what he did to manip the AI to do that. I can figure that out. That's a good few seconds. So this whole section really is just about getting the next Bluetooth remote upgrade. Because at the top of this little lift here, over to the left, there's a 3-button door that we have to open. But we only have 2 lights on our Bluetooth remote at the moment. So we have to play through this whole section in order to get that unlock to happen. If there was a way to pass through these gates without having to do these interacts, we could save a big chunk of time. Which would be nice. And coming up pretty soon, actually, you are all going to meet Bruce. Bruce is in the next portion of the game. Alright, now this guy does not usually hit you if you are fast enough. And luckily we were. Oh, stuck on something. And this is also where they come on. This is also where they give you some ammo for your weapons. However, we haven't picked up any weapons yet. We are gonna pick up some weapons. Or so we're going to pick up one weapon coming up soon, but we don't want to get this ammo right now because this ammo is slow. And it doesn't even have the ammo type that we need. Now this bull is apparently like a 1 in 4 chance to get past him without getting hit. So we're going to actually take the more optimal route of going around. As odd as it may seem, this is actually better than trying to take him on 1v1. We go around the other way and save ourselves a little bit of a headache that way. This whole segment, getting that 3rd Bluetooth light just to open this door. I'm going to stop and refill the healing station here, just because I did go through a lot of health because I kept getting beat down by a bunch of randos. And then there's a little cutscene that plays right here before we take this elevator to the next section. One thing to note we actually haven't talked about yet, this parasite that's attached to us is actually depleting our health as these cutscenes play out. So like you'll notice that my health is going to drop by 1 pip at this part. Now this next part is fun because there's some AI manip that we're going to do that's actually really ingenious, and I kind of found it on accident. I was like, I'm going to test something here, and I tested it and it worked. So I'll show you what that is. We're gonna have to dodge one of those bull enemies in a second. Now, these guys are super easy to avoid. Just run right past them. As you get to this next part, there's a bull enemy here. But I have found that if you run here, stop, and then start running again, you can get right past them. Super easy every time. It's very free as long as you wait the appropriate amount of time for him to get out of the way. And then you can go straight to here. I was watching Sharkat play this last night. He's doing his casual playthrough. And Sharkat will be here a little bit later today to run Dead Space during the D-Block. And he did that entirely on accident. And I was like, this guy's actually using speedrun strats on accident in his casual playthrough. Sharkat's just a cracked gamer. And now we get to Act 4. This is where you're all going to meet Bruce. You're all going to meet Bruce. Alright, so there's a bunch of enemies here. We gotta just get right past them. And you might be thinking, well, who's Bruce? Bruce is right in front of us. This is Bruce. Everybody say hi to Bruce. Now, Bruce is a tunnel. So we have to tear some holes in Bruce in order to be able to get through. But say hi, Bruce. Say hi, Bruce. Hi, Bruce. Bruce is a little annoyed with us because we're tearing holes in him, but we need to in order to do this. Now, not anticipating getting hit there, although I should have. I'm gonna take the time loss to heal real quick. And we're gonna get one of 3 maze puzzles. And we need to get 2 more of these maze puzzles in order to complete this maze. This is the one puzzle in the game that doesn't really look like it fits. It's got a very odd aesthetic compared to all the other puzzles around it, and I've never really understood why they designed this puzzle this way. It just looks very strange compared to everything else. I know that's a stretch saying something looks strange about this game, but it does. Now this section just got like a big reroute the other day. This is the part that has a new skip that was just like found 2 days ago, and the route was solidified yesterday. I haven't had time to learn it, so you're gonna get
really cool.
The truly vanilla. Meta, you scared the crap out of me just now. I was not ready for that. You threw me off so much, I went and tried to use the Bluetooth remote before we got the 4 lights. Alright, so we have to
we're grabbing the shotgun.
We're grabbing the shotgun. So this is going to... We're not going to use this except for the final boss fight. This is the only time we're going to use it. And every weapon we get, you need ammo for it. So those big pellets on the right are the ones that we actually use for the shotgun. The smaller ones we use for the revolver, which we skipped. But we have to pick them up anyway because you pick up everything by default. Alright, so we got another bull enemy right here.
I'm really interested to see how you deal with all the bulls.
Oh, we tank a bunch of hits from them, and yeah. Okay, he killed me.
That's unfortunate.
All right,
those guys are really tough.
Yeah, and normally I can get past him pretty easily, but for whatever reasons, once we started grabbing the shotgun, his AI changes when you grab the shotgun, and he's harder to deal with now. It used to be we'd skip the shotgun and you could just run right past him, no issues. Now with grabbing the shotgun, that is no longer the case. And so we got to figure out a
That's so interesting. That must... Yeah. They must have done that to like kind of... I guess to sort of nerf the shotgun in a way?
I don't know.
Because so with the revolver, because I suppose it's possible that a casual player would miss these weapons, since Looney did. And a casual player might miss the shotgun, which would then mean that it would take 6 shots of the revolver to take down the bull. And so I guess they make sure that the AI is like a little less strong if you don't have the shotgun. So it's kind of like...
It could also be an accident.
That's my theory. It could be an accident.
It could very well be an accident.
It totally could be. Yeah. I need to learn this vanilla route so I can start playing with the out of bounds, the fast key and stuff.
New route. Alright, so we got another bull up here. Now I'm trying to... I'm calculating this very, very carefully so that I can get this as optimal as I can, but unfortunately this bull has the tendency to go just haywire, and sometimes he'll just leave you alone, sometimes he will beeline it for you. And it looks like he's beelining it for me, so this might be Oh wait.
Oh,
wait.
I think you're
Oh,
good.
wait.
You're good. You're good. You're good. Oh, nice.
That was very close. Okay, I'm going to take the time to heal because I'm at 1 pip of health. And we got a health station right here that I'm going to grab.
How are we looking on the live split, just out of curiosity?
Well, I died, so...
Ah, yeah, true.
But 3-1 was a gold split.
Good stuff. Man, I missed... Sorry, I had to dip out for a quick sec there. I missed 3-2 entirely.
3-2 was a 6-second time loss. I forget why exactly. Oh, I remember why. I got stuck on a bunch of random nonsense. Also, we tore another hole in Bruce. Sorry, Bruce. Bruce straight up looks like the Watcher from The Evil Within 2. Also, I need to switch to the push gun here. Get past this guy. Now, we tore that hole into Bruce in order to come over here. Now, you have to wait for this gate, so we're going to double up this by healing here. Little tiny optimization. This section is probably like the most tricky from an optimization standpoint. You have got the loudest keyboard in the world.
I'm sorry. It was urgent.
It's fine. Fine.
I'm gonna switch to mobile. We are coordinating.
All good. It's what happens when you add a new run to the schedule. Alrighty, we got another cutscene that plays here, and you'll notice how we are turning into a tree. It really feels like you're turning into a tree as we go. Like, you got these branches that are coming off of your arms. Now, we gotta get one more of these puzzles, and unfortunately this next one's the riskiest section to do this.
I'm surprised my keyboard is so loud. We even set up a noise gate.
Just gotta raise the gate.
Oh yeah, did we ever name the parasite? I've just been calling it Parasite.
Oh yeah, I never named him. Barry? No, Barry's the best character in Resident Evil. We can't name him that. We'll name him Bob. I like Bob. We'll go with Bob. The parasite's name is Bob.
I feel like we should have alliteration and have it as a P name.
Percy.
Like Perry the parasite. Like Perry the platypus.
Percy the parasite.
Percy the parasite.
Actually, Perry's not bad. I kind of like that.
Perry the platypus. Parasite.
All right, we're gonna tear the final hole into Bruce's torso. Yeah, like a P for parasite.
Poor Bruce. Absolutely destroyed in this run.
Yeah, but he's
See,
fine.
in DSA, we're very, very nice to. Well, we're a little more nice to
You're a
Bruce.
little nice to Bruce. Not that nice to him. Man, Strabo coming in with all the suggestions. Alright, now unfortunately there's a bunch of enemies here, so there's a very high chance that I could get bonked on the head. So I gotta be very... Luckily those guys don't have any projectile attacks, please. So there's no risk of getting, like, you know, tagged with a projectile, but they do charge you and they can hit you and it hurts. Okay, they moved out of the way. Oh, look at that. They all played nice today. Sometimes you have to go around the other side of this thing to get onto this platform, but they decided to be nice. Now, this guy sometimes hits me with a ranged attack, and he did not. Wow, they are actually being really nice right now. I got very lucky with that.
I think the Peanut Gallery is a fan of Perry the Parasite.
Perry the
I'm gonna make a meme of that later.
Nice. Alright, now this puzzle's pretty self-explanatory once you see how it works.
Man, your FOV is way wider than mine. Holy crap.
I always play with a wide FOV though.
I think this is my favorite puzzle. It's very satisfying.
See, this is my least favorite puzzle because it's so aesthetically odd compared to every other puzzle. Like, every other puzzle fits in the environment really well. Bruce? Bruce, are you okay? Bruce? What is that noise? Bruce? Okay, so this is a lot of cranberry juice. It's fine. Bruce is fine. Bruce is totally fine. Don't worry about Bruce.
Totally
Bruce is
fine.
It's just a lot of cranberry juice. Yeah. It's like cranberry juice mixed with tomato juice. Bruce is fine. Don't worry. All right. Now, that's the end of Act 4. We're going into Act 5 now. Now, we unfortunately have to ride a very long tram ride in order to get to Act 5.
But a very beautiful one as well.
It's a gorgeous ride, yeah. But it takes a long time, and there's another cutscene that plays out where the parasite hurts us yet again, because this thing always hurts us.
Yeah, I don't know if you've mentioned this, Dane, but as you can, like, every time we get one of these cutscenes, you can see, like, the parasite is getting more and more ingrained in us.
I did mention that,
growing
yeah.
these, like, roots. Okay, yeah, cool.
And it hurts us every time.
Also, there's a really nice song that plays during this train ride, or like ambient kind of music. I forget what it sounds like because it now unfortunately breaks.
Oh yeah.
In DSJ, which is really sad.
It is a very nice little ambient.
I might
soundtrack.
actually. I think what I might do during DSJ is just hit the cutscene just so that we can hear the music. Because otherwise, it is pure silence for like 2 minutes, and it's on like my personal stream. Like I'll just play Spotify or something to cover it. But for a marathon, I think I'm just gonna take the time loss and just hit the cutscene trigger. Yeah.
And this background music is lovely while our illustrious host tells us a little bit about some stuff.
Oh, I am perfectly happy to jump in and tell you a little bit about stuff. So I want to thank Anonymous for that $2 donation, saying, cheers to Kuno Dimitris for recommending this channel. Happy to support. Thank you so much, Anonymous, for that awesome donation.
Thank you, Anonymous.
Just a reminder that we're raising money for To Write Love on Her Arms. To Write Love on Her Arms is a non-profit movement dedicated to presenting hope and finding help for people struggling with depression, addiction, self-injury, and suicide. To Write Love on Our Arms exists to encourage, inform, inspire, and invest directly into treatment and recovery. So thank you everybody for once again donating and just hanging out with us.
Sorry, hold on, I got another. I got a text real quick. And you can do that during this cutscene because it's long to play out. But now we get to Act 5. So basically, like, the entire time from, like, the time that we get into the temple in at the end of Act 2-1, we've basically been climbing this tower, and this is now the top of the tower. And this is where we are going to get this parasite out of our body. This is also where we have the boss fight of the games. The only real boss fight section. And this thing has been the subject of a lot of scrutiny and testing and polishing and
this
refining.
is probably the most this is where a lot of the routing has been done or been changed throughout the game because of this very boss fight. Also, so this is Act 5, and we're in the kingdom called Polis. The game never tells you that this area is called Polis, but we have some very smart, big brain people, namely Sam Montenegro, who dug up the sub-level names from the code of the game. And so that's how we know that this area is called Polis. Each of the different acts and little like sub areas have their own name, and they are not communicated throughout the game at all, but you can find them. And if you're smart like Sam is. Big shout out to Sam.
As a warning to everybody, this section is going to get a little gross. I mean, grosser than what you've seen up to this point. So we'll warn you to, like, you can cover your eyes before something like really grotesque happens. Now, for whatever reason, you have to kind of wait a second before you can use the push gun here. If you just hold right click to buffer it, it doesn't work. So you have to wait a second. So we have to basically break these creatures out of their shell, and you can only do that by placing them inside of that contraption. Now this is going to be gross, so if you get squeamish easily, turn away. We'll tell you when you can look back at the screen again. Because this is kind of nasty. this was one of those things that made me recoil when I was playing casual.
Yeah. Dane, let me know when I have like maybe a minute or two to go over like a lore dump or a theory lore dump of this area.
Right
but I want
here
to.
should be fine. We got,
okay, yeah, sure.
We're depositing the
juice.
The juice.
The cranberry juice.
The cranberry juice.
Yeah, so Polis, basically, if you look around, there's a lot of like pregnant bodies, kind of. Basically, the theory that I saw in this YouTube video is that in this universe, this world, whether this is Earth in the distant future or some other world, basically women have died out. And so in order to continue the species, whether this is humanity or not, they've tried to invent various different technologies in order to continue the species so that they could, give birth to new beings, whether they're humans or not. And so basically, you'll find men around this level that are pregnant. And so they've developed a technology that allows men to be able to get pregnant so that they could, give birth and continue the species, repopulate and all that. And the theory is that something has gone very wrong with this technology. And that's what's created like a lot of the mutant creatures and stuff like that, like the various like humanoid beings that, like, for instance, the parasite, humanoid beings that have mutated and become like very like monstrous.
This is the start of the boss fight, by the way, right here.
Yeah, that's basically the end of my spiel. Is they've developed this technology to allow men to get pregnant, and it's gone horribly wrong.
All right, we're going to try to manipulate this as best we can. I'm going to switch to the pump gun real quick. Get a shot in, switch back, reload. While it goes through its recovery.
Well, this is an interesting fact from Strabo, is Polis is actually city in Greek.
Uh-oh, this is bad.
I believe.
Okay, I have to...
That was a really...
That was weird.
That was a fast animation switch. Did you, like, cancel the...
It normally plays that fast. That's like normal speed.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna heal because I'm... Actually, this fight's going really badly. Okay, so that's one fluid sac, we'll call them.
Yeah, I don't really know what that's supposed to be.
Reload. Okay. Got it. Okay. Not a good first phase. That was actually really, really bad. But
Hey, you're alive. That's all that matters.
We're alive. Kind of barely, but we're alive. All right, I'm going to dump all my healing because we got a little bit of time to wait before we get the next interact prompt. Now, you actually have to stay back from this thing a little bit to let it play out its animation, or it'll punch you as you wait for it. And now we can take its gun off of it, and it'll just let us take the. Oh no! It grabbed us. Who could have seen that coming? So we gotta break that creature out of its stomach. Now we'll see if we can get the God Cycle. Imagine getting the God Cycle in a marathon. Oh, one. God Cycle.
Oh my god,
we got the
what?
God Cycle in a marathon run.
I have never seen that before.
Yeah, so
that is incredible.
So you
Holy
ideally
crap.
want it to open its chest up twice in a row. But sometimes it will begin a melee animation where it doesn't open up its chest, and so you have to run away to let it do its melee, and then you can run back in. My PB, I think, got like a 3 cycle. instead of the God 2 cycle.
That's incredible.
Very lucky. My old PB had the God cycle. Back before you even knew that it was a God cycle.
Mhm.
Alright, we're going to be playing through the gross thing again, so just as a forewarning to everybody, now's your chance to look away while the gross thing plays out. We'll tell you when you can look again. By the way, who likes marinara sauce on their pizza? Anyways, so we gotta play through another thing here. Now, we did get... I'm gonna see if I can go for the animation cancel here. I'm gonna switch back to this, and then as we get onto... Oh, wrong weapon. As you switch back to this thing... it's because I switched to the wrong weapon. So if you switch to the right weapon, you can actually sometimes cancel this animation, or it will overlap. And then you can save a little time that way. It's only like a second or two, but it's something. So now we have this grenade launcher, and this thing is stuck to us. We cannot switch from this grenade launcher. We're stuck. You can look back, by the way, at the screen if you hadn't picked that up yet. This thing is now permanently wedged into us. We have no more use of our other weapons. But that's okay. We don't need any other weapons.
Yeah, basically, like, once we grabbed it, the parasite has now grown to the point where we can no longer swap the attachment out.
Basically, our hands are getting very, very veiny and tree branchy. Now we have another boss fight! Luckily, we have a grenade launcher now, so we actually get to fight this thing with its own weapon. So we need to just basically wait out... we have no way to, like... basically bait... You know,
we have to let it drain
down.
its
So we have to let it drain its
ammo
ammo so it can reload.
Yeah.
Because the reloading is how we get... Uh-oh. I got too close. So it takes 9 shots to start reloading.
Why did it only shoot 2 there? It has to shoot 1 more, yeah. That was weird.
It shot 3 on its first volley.
Huh.
So it fires 3 and then it fires 3 sets of 2. So that one's down. We're gonna come back over here and reload while we're waiting for the animation to play out. I didn't even realize it was that close. And Le Baby comes out. All right, this is the last Peepo squish that we're gonna see. So, if you're squeamish, turn away.
Last one.
This is the last one. Boy, I love a good marinara sauce, don't you?
And the animation for the squishing is different for all 3 of them,
Yeah,
right?
it plays out differently for all 3, which I appreciate. I appreciate
That's
the
a
fact
really
that
nice detail, yeah.
They took the time to do
Like,
that.
they very easily could have just had one animation that plays 3 separate times. And they were like, nah.
And you can look back at the screen now. And by the way, Peepo Squish is, in fact, an emote on any of the big emote carriers. It is a Peepo being stepped on by a high heel. Alright, so we actually cannot deposit the juice yet because our arm has overgrown to the point where we can't control anything that is like... you know, needs fine motor skills, and so we have to get this parasite out of us in order to proceed any further. How am I doing on health? I should be okay on health. I've got 2 heals as well. So now we have to stick our arm into this contraption. This is going to rip off all of the tree branch tendrils that have been spawning out of us for a very short period. But this parasite is really, really strong now, and so these tendrils are going to grow back pretty quickly, so we got to work fast. And while we are doing this, our health is going to drain. So we're going to open the gate, come over here, we're going to stand on this platform. We have to wait to time this. Fire a nade. Now, if we try to go upgrade the remote now, we'd never make it in time. So we're going to run back, and you see, it's already starting to overgrow again.
Mm-hmm.
So we got to keep scraping this stuff off of us And so we come over here and we strip our arm once again.
Strabo has a question. So in universe, what is the purpose of this device? If you don't have a parasite taking over your body, what is this thing used for?
It's a surgery device. So it would conduct surgery for anybody that's needed surgery for whatever reason.
The parasite remover?
That's what I believe.
Like the
Unless
the
they're
thing
talking
you
about
stick
something
your
else.
arm into?
Oh, the thing you're sticking your arm into? I have no idea. I couldn't begin to tell you.
Kinky stuff.
Meta, no. All right. So I'm going to actually jump both my heels because we have to do this 2 more times. We're going to strip our arm. We now have the Bluetooth device upgraded, and we need to have our arm stripped in order to use the Bluetooth device. So we're going to come over here, really quickly interact. But if we try to go too far in there, we're going to overgrow again, so we got to run back. And these overgrown sections, like where your arm, like the veins on your arm grow back, they're both timed and fixed. So if you wait long enough just standing still, it'll eventually grow back. Or if you cross a certain trigger line, they'll grow back. So because somebody asked, is it timed or are they fixed? And my answer was yes.
Both.
And so now, this is the last time we strip our arm. I guess I only needed to heal 1 time instead of 2, but that's okay. We come over to the device, and now once we get this parasite out of us, our health bar becomes irrelevant. They just kind of get rid of the health bar because nothing else at this point can damage us. The entire rest of it's just a puzzle from here on out. This is the last section that could actually kill us and send us back to checkpoint. Yeah, the trigger to make regrowth happens if you go out of a certain range. So we're going to conduct surgery on ourselves and pull this parasite out of our body.
See ya.
And remember, that is the first protagonist. That was the guy we were controlling at the beginning of the game. Has now been
For the first, like,
pulled out of
20
us.
minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there he goes.
Bye, Perry.
So now we are going to limp to the finish line. And I do mean limp. You can see the screen rocking as we go. There's now no more weapons, no more health. Everything from here on out is just playing the game just straight through.
Yeah, they make you walk all the way around Polis for some reason.
It's not that much. I mean, it is a little bit, but it's not that bad. Luckily. We go left here in order to cut the line as short as possible. And this section, I think a lot more than any others, is really dependent on like cutting these corners just as tightly as you can. And
Definitely.
kind of running into the trigger line for a cutscene. Like there's a cutscene that's going to play out when we hit this arch, and kind of shortcutting that line as much as you can. And it looked like a really big like vroom, but that was mostly just the FOV is set to 90 for this cutscene, and my FOV is set to max, so it sort of changes the FOV, and you'll see the camera pull back as we exit this cutscene.
Absolutely, by far the most gorgeous level.
Oh yeah, it's Urdak.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, if you play this game casually, be aware that, that there's a lot of phallic things in the aesthetic of this level. So I'm going to be looking at the floor because this is a family-friendly marathon, and and yeah,
There are statues of people enjoying each other.
warning that this part's going to get a little gross right here. There's another cutscene that plays out right as we get to this spot.
Yeah, this is probably one of the most brutal things I've seen.
Yeah, this was
in a game.
Very body horror-esque, but you can see it's pretty nasty. So if you were covering your eyes, you can open them up again.
Oh, I was thinking of the surgery bot.
The surgery too, but that cutscene in particular because you can look down and see that yourself is opened. It's a lot of people said that they couldn't handle it because it's very grotesque, which very understandable. But now that we have this parasite out of us, we don't have those veins growing over our arms anymore, or tree branches, or whatever you want to call them. So we have full use of our faculties again. We can actually deposit this child juice.
Yeah, so these things here, we've been calling them pawns, and I don't know why. But yeah, supposedly, according to the video that I saw, these are supposed to be men that have been impregnated by technology. And I don't understand why the like flower thing pops out of their head. There's a lot of stuff that still doesn't make sense.
It's a Fatal Frame callback, I'm guessing. It's very Fatal Frame-esque having that flower kind of spawn out of its face.
Yeah, so here is going to be another very
this
like
is a
gory
really
scene.
brutal cutscene. So if you are squeamish, turn away. We'll tell you when you can look at the screen again, because this is going to get really graphic, really quickly. But basically, this guy is going to do surgery on us.
Yeah, and I think the idea right now is like we're trying to like join this hive mind and like ascend beyond the body, because our body is basically destroyed and no longer usable. So we're trying to do that.
So we have a permanent hat on our head. He's going to actually remove it. It takes a little bit of work to do that. Meta, you're wearing a hat, right? It's the top of your skull?
I am.
It's a hat, yeah?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, the top of your skull is a hat, so he's going to remove our hat.
It's just a really bony-looking hat.
Just a very bony hat. And we are now connected to the hive mind, and this is going to give us the ability to control those pawns. I don't know what else you call them. But yeah, we're now waking up inside of those other creatures that we kind of unlocked, so to speak.
The gory surgery part is now over, by the way.
So if you can open your eyes now. If you were squeamish before. You didn't have to see him remove our hat. There is going to be a little bit more goriness in this next section, but it's not quite as bad as that cutscene was. There will be a little bit of stabby, but not too bad. Now we are going to switch between two different characters at this point in order to solve this puzzle. So optimally, what we do is we come over here, we get another Ezio spike. I've been calling it the Ezio blade just because.
Yeah.
You know.
Because that's what it is.
It's pretty much what it is. And then we come over here, we get this door started, and then we're going to switch to the other character while this door is playing through its animation. And we come over here, we grab our guy, we pick him up, please. We got to get this doctor out of the way. He's still trying to perform surgery on us. This part is not quite as bad as before, but it's still a little gory. You can still see some insides, so just warning if you need to close your eyes. This is very... But we're going to carry ourselves across the finish line, so we've only got about a minute left of the game, and then we will stop. We'll be calling time as we get to the end of this walkway. So this door that we've been unlocking it requires two parts. Basically, you have to have somebody holding the door open while you step on the pressure plate, and that will fully open the door. So that's why you have to switch between both characters. A little weird that they would introduce a new mechanic this late in the game, but it's what they did. And you're going to see none of this in the DSJ run, because they skipped this whole part.
Yep. Spoiler.
Spoiler. So we're going to walk onto this pressure plate to finish unlocking the door. And then at some point, the game is actually going to take over control, and all you can do is hold forward. So at this point, all I can do is hold forward. I can't really do anything else at this point. And as soon as we stop moving, that's when the timer's going to stop.
Creating an auto split for the end of this, by the way, was a total pain in the butt.
I remember you talking about this was a real chore to figure this out. We're going to call time in Right. Now, time.
Nice.
GG's. Almost dead on estimates.
Yeah, well done. And that's with the death, too.
Yeah, that was with the death. And a really slow chapter, or Act 4 otherwise, so... That's Scorn! Vanilla! With no glitches or anything like that. I mean, nothing like major. There's animation cancels, but those don't really count for any of that. But coming up next, we're gonna see the same game played again, but with the game modded a little bit. Just a little bit. And you're gonna see a totally different kind of speedrun. So, yeah. I gotta do my shoutouts first. I gotta shout out the Scorn speedrunning community, Looney, Dead Zach, Matt, all those people in the server that have been working on finding stuff for this. I gotta shout you out. I always gotta shout out Meta for being on my couch. Thanks, Meta. I love you, man.
No problem. I would also really love to shout out Sam Montenegro, Nico Hart, Eero, everyone, Looney, everyone who helped work on the damage. Everyone who helped work on this, so. Yes,
yeah.
Everyone who helped work on various resources and tools for this game. We're a really small community, and yet somehow we have like some of the best tools around. We have a save manager for the game so that you can load up any point in the game. We have a trainer. Both of those were done by Damage, and then obviously the auto splitter, which was worked on by myself, Looney, Nico Hart, Sam, and a little bit by Eero as well. So shout out to all those people. So yeah, shout outs to everyone.
In case you're wondering kind of what has happened, basically the parasite that we got out of us attacked us again and absorbed us, like fully absorbed us. And so this is now that the second protagonist fully absorbed by the first protagonist. And so you see the two of them kind of absorbed together. But Saiku had one of my favorite interpretations of the story of this, which was that it's a love letter to overcoming anxiety and stress and depression and sort of any kind of mental struggle that you're dealing with, which I really like that. I think that's a really nice kind of motif of the story. Excuse me. But yeah, don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a bit with more Scorn.
Which the third one does deal more than just the splash from the two fire. So we just kind of come and tank the mayor robot